close your eyes and rest your mind in the quiet certainty that all you need is already yours. The universe, rich and overflowing with abundance, has heard your word before it left your lips. Tonight, you are not pleading, you are not striving, you are declaring. And what you declare in faith cannot be withheld from you. Before sleep takes you, speak into the stillness. I now release all fear of lack. I am one with the supply of the Almighty. The wealth that is mine by divine right flows to me freely and joyfully. Every channel is open, and nothing can keep my good from me. Let your heart receive these words as truth, not wishful thinking, for the spoken word is the key that unlocks the storehouse of heaven. When you speak your declaration of abundance before sleep, you are doing far more than uttering pleasant words. You are aligning yourself with a spiritual law that has been true since the beginning of time. What you consistently affirm with faith will eventually appear in your life. The moments before you fall asleep are powerful, for the conscious mind is quieting, and the subconscious mind is open, receptive, and ready to accept impressions. Whatever you plant in the subconscious will grow during the night, just as a seed hidden in the earth pushes upward toward the light. In these quiet moments, you are not hoping, wishing, or begging. You are claiming. The declaration you speak is not an empty repetition, but a creative command that begins shaping unseen forces into visible supply. You are like a sculptor who first sees the statue within the block of marble. By your words, you begin chipping away all that is not your prosperity. It is important that your tone be one of certainty, as though you are simply stating a fact. Words spoken in fear or doubt carry no creative power. They are like seeds thrown on barren ground, but words spoken with conviction and joy are living seeds, bursting with potential. When you say, I am one with the infinite supply, money flows to me now in perfect ways. You are not describing the future. You are speaking the present truth, which the outer world must eventually match. This practice is not about forcing the universe to give you something. It is about harmonizing your thoughts and words with the abundance that already exists. Spirit knows no lack, and when you agree with Spirit through your declarations, you open the channels through which your good can flow. By speaking your declaration at night, you give your mind a single, clear instruction before it drifts into the realm where ideas are nurtured and brought to life. Through the night, your words work for you. They do not sleep, they do not rest, and they do not weaken. They draw to you people, opportunities, and circumstances that will, in divine order, bring your supply into physical form. When you awaken, you may find ideas rising within you, unexpected contacts reaching out, or sudden avenues for income appearing without strain. But it all begins with the simple, powerful act of speaking your abundance into being before you close your eyes. In that moment, you are sowing a seed in the richest soil possible, the deep, unguarded layers of your mind, where doubt is silent, faith is active, and miracles are free to take root. Releasing fear of lack is the most important step toward allowing abundance to flow into your life, for fear is the great dam that blocks the current of supply. Fear whispers that there is not enough, that money is scarce, that opportunities are limited. It paints pictures of loss, debt, and struggle, and the more you dwell on those images, the more you magnetize them into your reality. The universe responds to your dominant state of mind, and if that state is fear, then it will reflect back to you the very conditions you dread. To release fear of lack, you must replace it with the truth. You live in an infinite universe governed by a source that knows no limitation. All the wealth that has ever been, and all that will ever be, exists now in the unseen, waiting for the right conditions to appear in form. Those conditions are created by your faith, your words, and your willingness to receive without anxiety. When you affirm before sleep, I now release all fear of lack. I trust the divine to provide in perfect ways. You are loosening the grip of scarcity on your mind. This is not a one-time effort, but a continual choice to turn away from appearances of shortage and toward the reality of plenty. Fear will try to return, often disguised as logic or caution, but you must stand firm in your decision to trust. Each time fear arises, replace it with an affirmation of abundance until faith becomes your natural state. Imagine the flow of a mighty river. Fear builds a dam across it, causing stagnation and dryness. Faith removes the barriers, allowing the waters to rush forward, carrying everything you need. The same is true for your financial good. Once the fear is gone, the flow is unstoppable. Releasing fear also means refusing to speak words of lack. Every complaint about not having enough, every statement about how hard money is to come by, reinforces the very condition you wish to be free of. Instead, speak as though you are already provided for. Say, "My supply is endless and immediate. I always have more than enough for every need." Let these words become so natural that they rise to your lips without thought. Over time, your inner atmosphere changes from one of worry to one of certainty, and as it does, the outer world begins to shift in response. Opportunities that once seemed distant come closer. Financial blessings arrive from unexpected directions, and the old tension around money fades away. When you release fear of lack, you are not ignoring reality. You are choosing the higher reality where God's abundance is the only truth. In this state, you move through life with calm assurance, knowing that what you need will arrive on time, every time, in ways that may surprise and delight you. Planting the seed of prosperity in your subconscious is one of the most potent ways to draw wealth into your life, because the subconscious mind is the silent architect of your reality. It works tirelessly, day and night, shaping circumstances according to the instructions it receives. Unlike the conscious mind, it does not argue or question. It accepts whatever is impressed upon it, whether that impression is one of abundance or lack. This is why the moments before sleep are sacred. In that twilight state, when the chatter of daily concerns fades, the subconscious is most open to suggestion. If, in those final moments, you give it a clear, confident declaration of your prosperity, it will take that seed and begin to nurture it through the night. The process is much like planting a seed in fertile soil. You do not dig it up in the morning to see if it has sprouted. You trust that it is growing unseen until the time is right for it to break through into the light. In the same way, you must trust that your subconscious, once given a definite instruction, will set in motion the events, ideas, and opportunities that will bring your desire into form. Every mental image, every word you speak before drifting into sleep becomes a blueprint for your subconscious to follow. If you go to bed worrying about bills, you hand it a plan for more lack. If you go to bed affirming wealth, you hand it a plan for prosperity. The subconscious does not judge, it simply builds according to the plan it receives. By choosing your words and thoughts wisely at night, you are essentially programming your inner architect to construct the life you want. As you plant the seed of prosperity, it is important to feel the reality of your desire as though it is already accomplished. Words without feeling are like seeds without water. They may exist, but they will not grow. When you affirm, "Money flows to me now in perfect ways," let gratitude and joy well up as though you are already holding the proof in your hands. That emotional energy is the water and sunlight that accelerates the growth of your seed. Over time, as you repeat this practice night after night, the impressions of wealth become so deeply rooted in your subconscious that they begin to override old patterns of lack. Then, in ways you could not have predicted, the results start to appear. A chance conversation that leads to an opportunity, an unexpected payment, a brilliant idea that generates income. You may not see the seed growing beneath the surface, but you will see the harvest. Plant your prosperity in the rich soil of your subconscious every night, and let the quiet magic of unseen forces work on your behalf until your outer life blossoms with abundance. Claiming wealth as your divine inheritance is not an act of arrogance or greed. It is an act of alignment with spiritual truth. You are not placed in this world to struggle endlessly or to live in perpetual lack. The source of all life is abundance itself, and as a child of that source, you are entitled to partake of its riches. Just as an heir does not beg for the portion that rightfully belongs to them, you do not have to plead or bargain with the universe for supply. You must simply claim it. This claim is not made in desperation, but in authority, the authority that comes from knowing your connection to the infinite. When you declare, "All that is mine by divine right is now released to me," you are stepping into the role of rightful heir. You are affirming that your prosperity exists already in the unseen, and you are summoning it into visibility. The difference between claiming and wishing is the certainty behind your words. A wish hopes that something might happen someday. A claim knows it is already so. This certainty is what shifts the energy around you, opens channels, and causes the resources you need to gravitate toward you. Claiming your inheritance also requires that you release any lingering belief that wealth is somehow wrong or unspiritual. Poverty does not make one more virtuous. In truth, it can limit the good you are able to do. With abundant resources, you can give freely, support others, and express your talents fully. The infinite does not withhold, it overflows. To deny yourself that overflow is to deny the nature of the source itself. You must also understand that your divine inheritance is not limited to money alone. It includes health, love, peace, joy, and every good thing that enables you to live fully. Money is simply one form through which abundance expresses itself. When you claim your inheritance, you are claiming the totality of good that belongs to you. Each night before sleep, reaffirm this claim. Speak it as though it is already fulfilled, for in the spiritual realm it is. I now receive my divine inheritance. I live in abundance, and all my needs are met in perfect ways. Let these words take root in your subconscious until they become the very atmosphere of your being. Then, when you awaken, walk through your day with the quiet dignity of one who knows they are already provided for. Opportunities may arrive in unexpected forms, but because you have claimed your good, you will recognize them instantly and act upon them without hesitation. Over time, this practice will dissolve old habits of lack and replace them with a deep-seated confidence in your unbroken connection to supply. When you claim your wealth as your divine inheritance, you no longer chase after prosperity. It comes to meet you, for you have acknowledged it as rightfully yours from the beginning. Using gratitude as a magnet, it is one of the most powerful ways to draw wealth into your life, for gratitude transforms your state of mind from one of wanting to one of having. When you are in the vibration of already having, you match the frequency of abundance itself, and the universe cannot help but deliver more of the same. Gratitude is not a polite thank you, spoken out of habit. It is a deep, heartfelt recognition of the good that already surrounds you. This recognition multiplies blessings because what you focus on expands. If you constantly dwell on what is missing, you amplify lack. But when you dwell on what you have and feel thankful for it, you amplify abundance. Each night before sleep, gratitude should flow from you as naturally as breathing. Even if your circumstances are far from what you desire, there is always something to be thankful for: a roof over your head, the warmth of a bed, the breath in your lungs, the simple fact that you are alive and capable of creating change. When you give thanks for the smallest blessings, you open the door for greater ones. Gratitude also prepares the subconscious mind to accept your affirmations of wealth. When you declare, "Money flows to me in perfect ways," and then feel sincere gratitude as though it has already happened, your subconscious accepts it as truth. This acceptance sets spiritual law in motion, attracting people, ideas, and opportunities that align with your declaration. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes to expect good rather than worry about what might go wrong. Another secret of gratitude is that it shifts your emotional state instantly. You cannot be fearful and truly grateful at the same time. Gratitude dissolves fear like sunlight melting frost. It lifts you out of anxiety and places you in a space of trust. In that space, you are more receptive to the guidance and inspiration that lead to prosperity. Imagine planting a seed of abundance in your subconscious. Gratitude is the sunlight and water that make it grow. Without it, the seed may remain dormant, but with daily gratitude, the growth is inevitable. Each morning, you begin to notice small evidences of your prosperity, a gift from a friend, a new opportunity, a sudden idea that saves you money or earns you more. These may seem small at first, but they are signs that the magnet of gratitude is working. In time, the manifestations become larger and more frequent. The beauty of gratitude is that it is available to everyone at every moment. It costs nothing, yet it attracts everything. When you use gratitude as a magnet, you are not only drawing wealth into your life, but also transforming yourself into a person who lives in constant awareness of abundance. And when you live in that awareness, money and blessings arrive naturally, for the universe always gives more to the one who appreciates what they already have. Resting in certainty rather than doubt is the final act of faith that allows your abundance to appear without resistance. Doubt is like a shadow that follows every step of faith, whispering, "What if it doesn't work?" or "What if nothing changes?" When you give power to those whispers, you undo the very progress you have made. The law of mind is precise. What you hold as truth in your inner world will eventually manifest in the outer world. If your truth is uncertainty, then life will reflect uncertainty back to you. Certainty, on the other hand, is a calm and unshakable knowing that your good is on its way and will arrive at exactly the right time. It is not frantic, it does not rush, and it does not waver when appearances suggest otherwise. True certainty rests. It trusts the unseen process as fully as a farmer trusts the seed underground to sprout, even when the earth above looks empty. When you affirm abundance before sleep, certainty means you do not wake up and immediately check for results in desperation. You simply go about your day with the quiet assurance that the wheels of the universe are already turning in your favor. You do not interfere with the process by questioning or doubting. Instead, you nurture it with continued faith, positive expectation, and calm action when inspired. This certainty is not blind optimism. It is grounded in the knowledge that spiritual law never fails. Just as the sun rises each morning without your assistance, the law of supply and demand operates without flaw. When you align your thoughts and words with abundance, the outcome is inevitable. Resting in certainty also protects you from the mental and emotional turbulence that can come when you watch your circumstances too closely. Appearances can be deceiving. A period of stillness may actually be the time when the most important connections and alignments are taking place behind the scenes. Doubt looks at the silence and calls it emptiness. Certainty looks at the silence and calls it preparation. This shift in perspective changes everything. Practicing certainty requires that you speak as though your desire is already fulfilled and act in ways that reflect that belief. If you believe money is coming, you stop acting like someone who is desperate to get it. You handle your affairs with order and dignity, you make decisions from a place of sufficiency, and you keep your heart open to receive. This confident state signals to the subconscious and to the universe that you are ready for your good. As you rest in certainty, you may notice a strange and beautiful thing. The very act of trusting begins to create the conditions for your prosperity. People sense your calm confidence and are drawn to it. Opportunities arrive without strain. Ideas come effortlessly. In time, the outer world catches up with the truth you have been holding inside. Doubt has no power here. Certainty has already written the ending, and it is abundance in every form you desire.